Hi. So, I was having chips. So I don't know. I was thinking. I was talking to a buddy of mine today. I got my hair cut. That's why I look a lot more handsome than I did the other day. Depends. I don't know. Maybe some people think that version of me is more handsome than this version of me. I just prefer this version of me because, damn. So, I was talking to my buddy who owns a shop, and we were just talking about how easy it is to get inundated with just shit every single day, and how so much can happen to occupy your time when you're trying to get other shit done. And then I'm like, you know what? Holy moly, yeah. I was looking back on this week, just this week alone, and Jesus Christ. This just won't fucking stop. Not in a bad way. This is probably one of the most exciting weeks of my life. And I was actually talking to my mom yesterday, and we got into a fight on Wednesday. Mostly due to the events of Tuesday with the police, which caused a incredible amount of stress throughout this house. Not for me though, for everybody else. I don't know. I'm starting to notice that most people that I know are more occupied with worrying about my existence than they are worrying about their own. Which I appreciate it, but I got my shit covered. Everyone I know, they have a kid, they got a job, they got a house, they got bills, they got all the shit that stresses them out, cars, all this shit. And all they do with themselves is they go to work, they pay their bills, they treat themselves to something nice once in a while, and then they just get angry about everything else that they have to do because they don't want to do any of the other shit. So they end up just either sitting around or complaining or just doing something that has absolutely no meaning to their life whatsoever. Little stuff, hey, fun stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't have meaning. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't fucking judge nobody. I used to do the same thing for a long time. I just don't like doing that shit no more. But for someone who doesn't have a job, which I'm not shy about. I don't have a fucking job like everybody else. I don't go clock in somewhere. I used to do that shit. I don't like that. I saw what it did to me. Fucked up everything in my life. I allowed it to fuck up everything in my life. So now I don't have a job, and I do what I want. I the small little social media life, which unfortunately I would much rather have real people to play with, but everybody is so caught up with their regular life that they don't have time to focus on anything other than that, really. Because I want to create stuff, I want to do things, I want to make my own money, but that's really fucking hard. It's really hard when you are when you're trying to create a job that doesn't exist. It takes a lot of time because you don't know where to start, especially when there's no actual resources, or you're trying to do things differently than everybody else. So it takes a lot longer and it's a lot harder. But yeah, I have my little people that I play with online. I have my books that I'm writing, my journals. I mean, what are they, books or they journals? I don't fucking know. They serve the same purpose. They're telling a story. Then I just started writing another book today, like an actual book, because I've been my trip to California. I took so many notes. I mean, there's probably enough for a book itself, just between the bus ride, being in California, and the ride back, just to really like put that adventure into words, which I really want to do. I keep on procrastinating it. So then I was talking to a friend of mine today on Twitter. I was complaining how, like, because when I had all the stuff that I wanted distractions from, Twitter was fun because I would have conversations with people. But now that I don't, and I'm doing my own thing, it's not really that many interesting people. So I was complaining about that to a friend of mine, and then while I was complaining, I started thinking, I'm like, you know what the fuck am I complaining for? I want to write. I write all the time. Within this past year, I've had to have written at least 1 million words between my books, between my musings that I put online, between the notes that are on my phone. And they're all there to tell a story, but they're also spread out. But I don't know if they're actually doing any good, so I decided to start something today. Just say fuck it. And did it. And you know what? It didn't turn out that bad. I'm actually really pleased with the way it turned out. I wrote the first chapter. And what was it? It's about 2,500 words. Wrote it about an hour. It fucking came out pretty good. I'm not too displeased. I got to work on the formatting and edit some words. But I'm not big on editing my thoughts in the first place. You go back and you edit and you do this, you do that. Why? I said what I wanted to say. I mean, I might be able to enhance it, but hey, that's a reason for another book, right? Why? Well, I don't know. I have to think about that. I could probably write a lot of books. This one, I don't even know what this one's even going to be about. It's me. It's about me. Because me, I'm my favorite subject. Is that wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Without me, nothing else matters. I give purpose to everything else, right? In my life, I give it purpose to everything else. And if I can't appreciate the guy that makes it all happen, like, what the hell's the point of everything else? You know? And I got these fucking things. There's so much I want to do. So much that I do. I don't know. Am I complaining? Or am I just talking? I'm probably just talking because I haven't anyone to talk to. Because everyone's got their own shit. Got into a fucking huge fight with my sister the other day because she subscribed to my YouTube channel. Because I was paranoid after that whole thing with my with the police, and I'm like, you know what? There was this upsurge in interest in the videos that I was putting on YouTube with certain family members, and I wasn't cool with that because it's like, you know what? You don't take the time to ask me anything on a regular basis, so why are you going to cherry pick these videos that I make? And yeah, I know they're public and anyone can look at it, but I don't care what a stranger thinks of me. Do I care about my family? I mean, most of my family are fucking strangers too. Everyone's strangers. Nobody even knows them. Nobody knows themselves. So how can I know anybody better than they know themselves? But then again, I know myself. So I guess if you know yourself, then you should know other people because everybody's exactly the same. So I guess I don't need them to tell me who they are because I already know, which is probably why I don't need to have conversations with anybody, because I can usually just tell who you are by just brief little talk, just by listening to you. You can tell me your whole life story within 5 minutes. I didn't even realize it. Is that good or is that bad? I don't know. I mean, everyone has something to offer. Everyone has a unique perspective on something. So, I mean, there is that. I mean, I really do like talking to people. I prefer talking instead of listening all the fucking time. But listening's cool. Yes. There's always something to learn from listening to somebody. So it's not a bad thing. You have to just be able to discern what it is that you're supposed to be learning from whatever it is that they're saying to you. sometimes it takes a little bit of processing of the experience, and I think I gave an example of that the other day, right? Didn't I do? Yeah. What am I saying? Didn't I? I remember. I didn't like doing it. I did my guided little hypnotherapy meditation thought process thing, which is really embarrassing, by the way. But that's why I did it, so I can get over doing it, because someone's gonna have to see me do it at some point. I mean, I can't live alone forever, right? I don't know. I would imagine someone's gonna see me do it at some point. New thing, well, not even a new thing. This was actually something I came up with last year, and I was doing it last night, and it's actually really awesome. And there is the process of lying down, which I did just the other day, and shutting your eyes and allowing your mind to go. Another thing, which is really cool to do, is to find a mirror. And you go to the mirror, and you fucking stare in it. And you stare yourself right in the fucking eyes, and then you just let it go. It's like staring at somebody. It's like staring right at someone, but what you're doing is you're reading your own mind, and your mind is going. What I notice is that I talk to people a lot. And here's the cool story. The last time I did it, I had a hemorrhoid. And I have this theory that you can cure any ailment through releasing blocks or figuring out what's bothering you. And my brother had made some amazing fucking tacos. Motherfucker can cook. Amazingly. He's a great chef. And he made these tacos. Fucking tacos are spicy as hell. It's throwing fucking ghost peppers in the fucking meat, man. Shit was killer. The next day, killed me. So much so, I got an awesome hemorrhoid as a souvenir. So what I was doing was, I wanted to try to, and anyone who's ever suffered from this ailment knows that this can last for like a week or two. It can go for a while. So what I do is, and even recently, like I like to put myself through, I like to do stupid things and to cause pain on my body, because pain releases, triggers emotions, and it helps you get through certain things. So what I did was, went to the beach a couple weeks ago. I sat in the sun and I got fucking burnt. I still peeling. This was like probably like 4 weeks ago. I'm still fucking peeling like a month. Not as bad, but there you can still see where the skin is falling off. There was a good couple days where there was nothing but skin just kind of floating around my room. It was disgusting. So but the purpose of that was, there was actually a reason. So I wanted to see if I can heal the sunburn quickly by focusing on whatever the pain was causing me to think about. And I don't think it worked. And what actually, there was a reason for that, because the day before I had these like all these bug bites up on my leg. I got tore the fuck up. And it was real fucking nasty. And I think it was from, I went down to Atlantic City, and I was walking home from Atlantic City, and I think I walked through like a chigger patch, and those little fuckers chewed the shit out of me. It was really fucked up. But I thought it was bed bugs, to be perfectly honest. Because I had them once years ago in my house, and though they never attacked me, they were all over my son. And it looked similar to that, but it's never happened again. And nobody else in the house seems to have gotten that. But they didn't check all over the place. The house is clear, so. But the next day, the bites were gone. They were all gone. After I went through like, I was hyperventilating and shit thinking about this stuff. And then once I finally got over it, they went away. I was really surprised. It was like literally the next morning they were gone. You couldn't even tell there was anything on my legs to begin with. It made me question if there was even anything there in the first place. So I wanted to try it out with the sunburn. That didn't work out so well, but I did get some really interesting results from the sunburn. Um, if you've ever had a serious sunburn before, you probably know that you don't go in the shower because it feels like your skin's melting off, especially with hot water. So I wanted to try that, and so I did because I wanted to see what the pain would make me think about. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but I can tell you that it was really smart. Yeah, it fucking hurt like a motherfucker. I was in there for about 45 minutes just letting hot water scald my already scalded skin. And it brought up these emotional blockages that were actually pertinent to something that was going on in my life at that particular moment. And yeah, I cried, but I didn't cry because of the pain. I was crying because of the emotional surfacing that was going on. And it actually helped me figure out a couple problems. And by the time I was done with the shower, I felt much clearer in my mind because of it. It was really interesting. My body hurt like hell. Oh my God, did it hurt? It hurt so much. But eventually it went away. So yesterday I tried the same thing. Because this worked the last time I had a hemorrhoid too. It only lasted for like maybe a couple hours. I remember I felt it, and then I tried this thing where I stared in the mirror, and I tried to focus on what was bothering me at the time. And hey, listen, you don't have to fucking believe me, but that motherfucker went away within 15-20 minutes. So I tried it again last night because I was getting really aggravated because I really don't like the way that feels to have one, and they suck. So I went and I stared in the mirror for about an hour. And not to mention all the other stuff. Plus, I've been practicing the Reiki shit, which has been actually really helpful. It's actually way more helpful than anything else I've been doing with a lot of stuff, because that Reiki stuff, it really triggers a lot of shit to come up. And if you understand anything about karma and how the universe works from watching me and listening to me, then you know that when you try to overcome certain blocks and fears, when you try to challenge yourself and overcome them, weird shit will happen that will make it so you have to prove that you can overcome these things. Like people popping up, situations popping up. The thing with the cops coming here the other day, that was a perfect example of me having to face a fear, because I thought that was for something completely different. I thought I was going to jail. Well, I thought somebody was going to jail. I didn't think just me, but definitely me at one point. I remember shitting my pants a lot. I thought they were here for something else. And that's an example, is because I think I challenged the universe by making all those videos that I made earlier this week to really push boundaries. And I fucking pushed some fucking boundaries because I had some shit happen. We had the thing with the cops. We had the fight with my sister, the fight with my mother. Like, all of this just kept on leading into another thing, into another thing, into another thing. And then I made up with my mother yesterday to somehow get myself hooked back in with these recovery people that I was working with. And it's like everything's kind of like swirling back and forth with all this shit again and again and again. Like, I don't know if that last couple sentences actually made any sense, but it's just going back to what I was saying earlier about just all the shit that's been going on in my life. It's just very overwhelming. So last night I went to, plus with all the Reiki and all this other emotional blockages and releasing, because everyone always says like, oh, what are you doing in your room all day? Everyone's concerned that I'm sitting in this fucking room all day, but I sit in the room all day because, one, I got too much shit going on in my life to be worrying about playing with people and having fun. I need to be able to overcome the shit that's holding me back from doing all this stuff. And yeah, sitting in a room all day isn't helping, but I'm not trying to achieve the same thing that you are or that anybody else in my life is. I don't know anybody who's trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And as I explained to to my mom yesterday. It's like, the reason I even make these videos is like, yeah, there's people who are gonna watch them. There are people that watch them. And it doesn't matter to me who watches them. I was a little bit afraid earlier this week about who was watching them, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I was just taking videos off and putting them back on and taking them off, worrying about who's going to get offended and who's going to say what to who and who's going to cherry pick what. And, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because it's no one's business. It's no one's business what I say. I don't fuck what anybody thinks. I really don't. I try not to. I try not to, so I force myself to have to. Because when I force myself to care what everybody thinks, eventually I learn how to not give a fuck. Because you can only worry about something so much. When you allow yourself to dwell on something, something I've learned, that when I allow myself to dwell on something so long, eventually I will learn why I don't need to dwell on it anymore, and why it doesn't matter, and why I need it to happen, why I need to allow myself to experience that. Because if I allow myself to experience it, then I realize how to overcome it and how to be stronger from feeling that. It's like endurance training, okay? Where like eventually you lift weights, right? You work out and you lift weights, and then eventually you can add more weight, and then you lift more weights, and then you put more weights on, and then eventually you can lift up more weights, and then you put more and more and more, right? See, I do the same thing, but I do it for my mind. My little meat suit is not my concern just yet. My mind is. My mind needs to be strong so that I can break anybody with my mind, or I can't allow anyone to break me. I spent my entire life being controlled in some way, shape, or form, which then led me to wanting to and forcefully controlling other people, and I won't do that anymore, because the only person I need to worry about is myself, and I am not here to control you or anybody else. If you want to listen to what I have to say, that's on you, but it's not me to put a fucking leash on your neck. No fucking way. I ain't doing that shit no more. Too much ugliness comes from that. So what I like to do is put myself in the most uncomfortable of situations as I can. I'm comfortable doing, to overcome being uncomfortable. This way, when you're uncomfortable enough, you eventually become comfortable, and then you can push it even further. So like this, for example, this is very sketchy for me because I open myself up to people in such a way that anybody could be listening to what I'm saying. So potentially, quite potentially, I just told the entire world that I have a hemorrhoid. Most people don't like to talk about shit like that. But you see, that's why I have to do it, I guess. Because now I'm not going to be embarrassed saying it. I've been telling everybody. I tell everybody now. But it's only been like 2 days. But it's all basically gone, because last night what I was getting at was this other tactic that I have for overcoming things is I like to look in the mirror and stare at myself right in the eyes, and I just look. Like that. A lot of times what happens is I start to hear other people's voices in my head. I hear voices in my head all the time. It's like everybody else. But the voices I hear, then the voices tell me to do stuff too. But they're the voices of people I know. It's the voice of my ex, it's the voice of my son, it's the voice of my mother, it's the voice of her husband, it's the voice of my brother, it's the voice of my sister, it's the voice of my ex-bosses, it's the voice of my friends, it's the voice of my ex-friends. It's every single person that I have ever encountered leaves a little bit of an echo inside of my head, and that echo is what I hear. Let me explain what that means. An echo of them. An echo of that person, not an echo of what they said or who they are, really, essentially. The person that I knew for that time, however brief or long it was, that person exists in here. But here's the weird part, is a lot of the times, and this is actually really fucking weird, a lot of the times they will interact in physical form the way that they interact in your mind. So, for example, I totally forgot about this, But yesterday morning when I woke up, I did the same thing. I looked in the mirror, and my mother and I are fighting. We got pretty nasty, got really ugly. And what I did was I looked in the mirror, and for some reason I was hearing her voice, and so I was having this conversation with her, and we decided that it'd be best if we made up. And not only would it be best if we made up, but I also wanted to go out with her and spend some time with her and like have fun with her and do something. So and we had this conversation. Literally, her and I were talking about it in my head. Maybe like 10, 15 minutes this was going on. Maybe not that long. Maybe like 5. I don't know, 5 to 10. Afterwards, I came back, lie down, to write a little bit, to read. And I heard her pull up. She gets out of the car. I heard her walk in. And then she texts me, "Can you come outside and talk to me real quick?" So I went out there, and she apologized. She forgave me for what I said. So then I took it upon myself to forgive her for what she said. And then we hugged it out, kissed, and then we didn't make out, idiot. I know that wasn't, you know who I was talking to. Because I have this thing with kissing ladies on the mouth. I always kiss all the ladies on the mouth. And everyone used to make fun of me because me and my mom would kiss on the mouth, but I kiss all the ladies on the mouth. All. Everyone. Usually older ladies though, because pretty and attractive girls, I think they take that the wrong way. Or maybe I do, I don't know. I get uncomfortable because I don't want them to take it the wrong way. But yeah, I like kissing ladies on the mouth. It's my thing. You ever seen Richard Dawson? Richard Dawkins, the guy who used to host Family Feud. Love that guy. I think he's probably my inspiration because he used to kiss all the ladies. I just like kissing the ladies. So what? Fuck you. I like kissing ladies. So we made up. We then started talking, which then got me fucking back with these recovery people. And then about 15 minutes later, she offered for my birthday to get my hair cut. If you remember, I said the other day that was going to happen. Not specifically her, but I said that somebody was going to get me my hair cut. I also said the other day that somebody was going to buy me a birthday present, my buddy Tim, my boy. And then, after she told me she was going to give me my birthday haircut, she asked me if I wanted to go out with her, to go to a movie. Oh. Now, you can play that all off to coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. I know there's no such thing as coincidences because I know everything happens for a reason. I know everything happens for a reason because I write everything the fuck down. And because I write everything down, I have literally a blueprint of how I got to this point right now. And how everything that I've been doing literally has led to this moment. This moment, what does that mean? My book I was just writing, and I know I say this a lot, everything that's ever happened exactly for this moment, for it to happen. Everything that's ever happened in the entire cosmos, every star that's been born, every black hole that's been created, every planet that's lived, that's been formed, and every star that's died, happened just so that in this random galaxy, the Milky Way, which is one of 500 billion known or 100 billion visible galaxies, within the 200 to 300 billion stars that are in this one particular galaxy. And I thought it was closer to like 500 billion. But there's one that you can see outside. There's several planets going around it. And that on one of those several planets is an animal that is unlike any other animal on the rest of the planet. And there's a lot of different animals, between plants and animals and bugs and fishies and birdies and all the other types of fucking things. Rocks, which you may not believe rocks have life, but everything is alive. That there's this one animal that has a tendency to leave its mark wherever it goes. And over its history, this animal got more creative in its ways of keeping track of its history. And that this history went exactly the way that it had to go. Civilizations have risen, they have fallen. There have been races that have come to power and fell from power. There have been genocides and wars and destruction and creation, all so that you and me could be in this exact moment right now for me to say whatever it is to you that means something out of the 30 minutes worth of words that I've been speaking this entire time. Yes, everything happens for a reason. The entire cosmos happened exactly the way that it did so that on this one planet human beings can exist. Prove me wrong, because if anything changes in any way, shape, or form, it'll throw a fucking whole shit show. Take away one of those planets. Ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, what would happen if you took away any one of those planets? The solar system would fall apart. Extinguish the sun. What would happen? All life would be extinguished. The sun, you want God. You want to find God? I'll show you where God is. Look out your fucking window at the ball that's going across the sky. There's God. There's your God. There's your Christian God. There's your Jewish God. There's all the God right there. Your Islam God. He's the guy that does it all. He created the earth. He can destroy the earth. Without him, you do not exist. None of this exists. So there's your God. Well, God's an extraterrestrial because that thing is alive. It's made of energy. Energy is, everything's energy. You're energy. I'm energy. Thoughts are energy. Voice is energy. The sun is energy. Consciousness is energy. Everything is consciousness in some form or another. Everything has, you're like, everything has memory. Everything has feeling. Everything has a story. That thing is just like you and me. It thinks, it breathes, it radiates life. From its light, begets life. Right or no? Well, no. You know I'm right. There's God. Okay, so we literally just established that Derek has literally discovered God. Huh. I did it. So yeah, everything happens for a fucking reason. Everything has a purpose. Everything has meaning. You're there. You're sitting right there because you have to be. I'm sitting right here because I have to be. Well, I don't know yet. Well, no, because you can hear whatever it is that I'm saying. Because you live a life where you believe that you have no meaning, you have no purpose, that your existence is to go to work and to pay bills and to fucking kill yourself every single day. I'm telling you that it's not. You don't have to do those things. You really don't. You 100% do not. Whatever reality that you think that you're existing doesn't really exist. It only exists because you allow it to exist. It's like this notebook. This notebook is only a notebook because you allow it to be a notebook. It doesn't have to be a notebook. You can call it whatever you want. You can do with it whatever you want. I only believe that I can write in it because I write in it. Someone told me that you can write in a notebook, so I write in a notebook. I don't have to do that. I can write on the goddamn walls if I wanted to. I only call them walls because that's what I'm told that they're called. I don't have a better name for them. Like, wait, you call me Derek, but take away the ability to speak. What's my name then? No, you don't take away everyone's name. It doesn't matter. It's just a classification for this thing. It's a piece of meat. In a skin bag. That's all we are. Well, then you got the thing in here. This thing, whatever is allowing us to think and to feel and to express ourselves. That's real. It's no more real than this. It's no more real than you or all this other shit. There's all just creations of a mind, someone's thoughts put together into physical form. So why not the same with us? I mean, there is a, what am I getting into? The nature of God? I guess so. Why not, right? Okay. The fuck else is there to talk about? I mean, whoever's gonna think I'm crazy already thinks I'm crazy. So, but am I crazy? I don't think. I feel like these are these are topics that people don't normally discuss for some reason or another, because we'd rather talk about football or Game of Thrones or some other useless shit. We'd rather distract ourselves with stuff that doesn't matter than feel any desire to explore ourselves, our minds, and explore the thoughts of other people that came before us. Hey, I'm into that shit. I don't fucking know. It's unfortunately, the philosopher's life isn't a very lucrative one. I don't know what to fucking tell you. But I was actually thinking, I was having this discussion with myself today. I don't need to have an intellectual conversation with other people. I can do it with myself, because from I am empathic. So what does that mean? That I can understand and see things from other people's perspectives, and I can store those perspectives, and I can recall them at any time that I need them. So for instance, I can have a conversation with myself and take both sides of the argument and be right both times. I can, technically I think I could take a couple stances on a single subject, because even if I don't think something right now, by having that conversation with myself, that two-way conversation, I'll make a third way. And from there, once you have three, then it's just a matter of going all over the place. I used to tell people when I was doing their cards, and I would do these cards for them, I would have this little ceremony, and I would say to people, think about what it is that you want in the entire world, because we're going to find out what's holding you back from getting that. So always tell them to think big. And eventually that little exercise kind of evolved into this little thought game I would play with people. That think about what you want. Don't think about what you don't want. Don't think about what you want. Think about what you don't want. Pick anything. Do that now. Like, close your eyes and think about what it is you do not want in your life. All of it. As bad as you can think. Like, think about the worst possible scenarios. What that'll do is, once you give that energy, once you give that power, those thoughts of what you do not want, your brain, your mind, your subconscious, whatever, will start to go, okay, if that's not what I want, I don't want to stick my dick in a bowl of piranhas. What do I want? Yeah, I don't want it. I want to not. So let's go with that angle. So we got that covered. So if there's a bowl of piranhas, we know not to stick our dick in it, because we don't want that. Because how can you know what you want until you know what you don't want? Because I know that if I stick my dick in a bowl of piranhas, they're going to bite my dick off, and I don't want that. So no, I'm not going to do that. Simple, right? But what it is you allow yourself to imagine, all right, what are the consequences of sticking my dick in a bowl of piranhas? Let's really play this through. Okay? So in my head right now, I'm doing it, sticking right in the fucking bowl of piranhas. They're eating it. I don't like it. I no longer have a dick in which to call my own, because now it's in the mouths of these multiple piranhas and their little razor teeth. No. What good can come out of that? I can teach people the folly of sticking your dick in a bowl of piranhas. And I'll be hailed a hero, because I will have taught the world how foolish, just utterly stupid it is to do such a thing. So don't follow my example. And I'll be famous and get a Nobel Prize and be hailed as a hero and God forever for telling people don't stick your dick in a bowl of piranhas, because it's not good. But what's good for me isn't necessarily good for you. And it could be completely bad for somebody else. I like to say that good is considered evil to the evildoer who considers himself a good guy. Now, both of those guys are justified in how they feel. Both the good guy and the evildoer can both justify why it is that they do what they do. Now, mind you, like I said before, evildoer and good guy, those are interchangeable titles. Because each one of them is going to have a group of followers. Each one of their followers are going to think that they're the one that's right, and the other guy's the one that's wrong. But right and wrong are the same fucking difference. Everything that's right contains aspects that are wrong, and whatever's wrong contains aspects that are right. So it's all basically the same thing. You're just confusing yourself and picking sides and dividing people by telling them that there is a good and there's an evil, when in reality there is no good and evil. And that's actually what the don't eat the tree of life, the fruit of the tree of life, the truth, good and evil. What the fuck was the tree? Whatever Adam and Eve fruit, whatever fruit they ate, whatever tree. That's what they were learning from that there is no good and evil, that there is no right or wrong, that it's all the same thing. It's just how you perceive it. You have to. There's a lesson to be learned from it, and that's it. It's a perspective to take on, so that you can go and take that perspective, use it how you will, go on about your life, and create a brand new existence by learning more people and more learning about other perspectives and shit like that. Which had me thinking, especially last night, about marriage and the people that we consider partners and boyfriends, girlfriends, shit like that. It makes me wonder. I've always wondered this: like, are people supposed to be with just one person? Are they? But then you go back to think, well, maybe they are, because when you take a boy and a girl and you put them together and they make a little group, a little relationship, they can only teach each other so much. It's not, and you know what, even in today's society, like I think about this a lot, is what were relationships like in ancient times when people thought like me, when there was more people like me. And maybe there wasn't more people like me. Maybe there were. I have this theory that there were that there's way. Well, I know there's way too many people. Way too many. They're completely unmanageable, because you're all animals. Because if you think I'm wrong, you think it's offensive that there's too many people, look around. You're disgusting. You act like animals. You can't even fucking control yourselves. Disgusting. It's really gross. I'm not even talking about society, but even on an individual level, look at yourself. Go look in that mirror. Look at who you are. You're disgusting. And you know it. You're gross. Shameful. But, sorry. I'm not sorry. I meant to say exactly what I said. When you take a man and a woman, two intellectual people, not these animals that we have today that just think about sex and money and drugs and keeping each other distracted or being distracted and then not even paying attention to each other. So fucking gross. That the real function of a relationship is that the man brings what the woman does not, and the woman brings what the man does not, and then they bring whatever they have together, and then they do whatever the fuck it is that they're supposed to do. I don't know what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to be doing what they're doing now. I believe that they come together to create something. I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe they take over the world. Who knows? I really don't know. But then how much... See, and that's where I get confused, because it's like, I can only teach a person so much, and they can only teach me so much. But then again, being by myself, this past year alone has been the most growing of experiences I've ever had. I am so much more intelligent than I've ever been my entire life. At this point, than I have ever been. This past year, there has been, if there was a diagram of my intelligence scale, it would probably be baseline, just going, and then around October, November of 2017 is where it starts to spike a little bit, and then right around June of 2018, it just upshoots. And it's just on a it's been on a continual fucking peak for a very long time. It makes me wonder if there's ever a point where it comes back down again, which I hope not. I like being smart. I like getting smarter. But I think it comes to a point where you can only get so intelligent before you have to just fucking stop and take a break. Share what you have with somebody else so that you can make room for all the shit that so you have room to get more shit in there. That's my theory, at least. I guess maybe that's what I'm doing now. Maybe that's kind of it. Maybe that's what this little device is for. Getting out everything that I already know so that I don't have to do all the shit that I don't want to do and then some other idiot can do it. Even though I really want to be the one to push the button that starts World War III. I hope that's me. I really want to be the one to wipe out humanity. Because I think you're all gross. That would be so awesome. So awesome. But then even on the bright, like from another aspect, I look at it from most people are just completely incompetent. I mean, you're so ingrained with your programming that I really do believe that I'm light years ahead of most people with the way that I think and the way that I speak and the way that my mind functions. Because I don't know if anyone else has ever taken this amount of time to devote strictly to their own intellectual, spiritual, and mental growth. I mean, I solve all of my problems within minutes, maybe a couple days, where someone like you might not even be able to get to a single thing for months, for weeks, because you're so inundated with shit. Like, you're not spending your weekends just like chilling and relaxing just to yourself. No, you have obligations, you have friends, you have family, you have your TV shows, you have your movies, you got bullshit that you need to distract yourself with. I don't do any of that stuff. Yeah, I might go and play with people and get my hair cut once in a while, but most of my time, 90% of my time, is just devoted, focused on me. Yeah, I play with people online, but you know what? Even that is for me. Because like I said, you learn from every single person that you interact with. And even the people I play with online, they have something to offer to me. Though they don't even realize it. Though they may not really understand what it is that they're doing, they're just complaining. So, for instance, last night, there was one of my witch group that I'm in Facebook. I love the witch group. I love witches. This chick was asking about doing a binding spell on her friend's abusive husband. Her friend had like traveled over several states to get away from her abusive husband, and it got me thinking. I'm like, well, why put the time and effort into doing a binding spell? Why not see if he wants to go to counseling? Why not ask him, why are you abusing me? Why do you beat me? Why do you hit me? Why do you talk to me that way? We don't do that. We don't talk. We're actually afraid to have a conversation, because I can bet you that if she confronted him and said, why are you treating me this way? Why are you doing X, Y, and Z? He wouldn't know what to say. He'd panic and he'd never do it again. This is my theory. Maybe he'd do it worse next time, but let's keep on asking, why the fuck do you keep doing this? Do you want me to leave? Is that what you want? Do you want me to leave? Stop doing that. But I don't think people do that. Or if they do it in a passive-aggressive way, and they don't follow through. Maybe that's why she left. Maybe she followed through. Maybe she did warn him. I don't know. I get real sketchy on stories like that. But anyway, it got me thinking, and I'm like, oh my god, what if a man actually asked a woman to go to therapy? What would the woman think? That would blow her fucking mind. But then got me thinking, maybe I should ask my ex if she wants to go to therapy with me, like on a date. Me, her, and my son, we all go to a therapy session, which I think would probably be the smartest thing. And if you're still watching, I was going to message you last night, but then I would take away that block, take you off the block list. I'm not doing that, because I told you I'm not doing that. I don't know if I even told you I was not going to do that, but I get these urges where I want to like say something, and I think that I go with the block, unblock. I'm like, no, do not unblock. You can't unblock anybody. So if you are watching still, which I hope you are, would you go on a date with me to a therapist of your choice for my birthday? It'd be a birthday present. Because I know I'm not going to hear from you or him on my birthday, so and it doesn't have to be on my birthday. Because it's in 2 days, by the way. So a friend of mine's going to get me the Tower from the Shadows. So if anyone else out there that's listening or watching, if you want to get me a birthday present for my birthday, which I love birthday presents, TrueBlackTarot.com. I really, really, really want that deck because it's really fucking cool. It's really cool. TrueBlack.com. TrueBlackTarot.com. And a crystal ball. I really want a crystal ball. I know they work. I know how they work. So I just want one because they're really cool. Like a black one. A black one I would love. That one would be fucking really cool. Like a nice, solid black, nice base crystal ball. That would be so cool. And a therapy session with my wife and my son, because I think that's the problem, is because I know that I'm a really good therapist, but they don't know I'm a really good therapist, so I think I come off as crazy. But when I'm in a therapist's office, I'm a therapist's wet dream. They love me. Bring my books. I just tell them all the smart shit I did. But I think that would probably be a really good date. And I'm not asking for your hand in marriage, but at least not yet. But unless you want to. But I don't think you do. I don't think we're ready for that kind of commitment yet. I think we should probably establish some boundaries and guidelines between the three of us. And I'd like to do that with you and him. So if you're into it, just let me know, because I'll be around. And you have my phone number, so it's not like you can't get in touch with me. I gave that to you back in, go back to your messenger. Go back to June. I think maybe June 13th. Somewhere around there. Somewhere around June I sent you my phone number. And also, if you go back to those videos I made earlier this week, I also put my phone number on there, which it's 609-418-5957. And anyone call. I get bored. I like talking to people. And I like to solve people's problems. So if you got problems and you want to call me, go ahead, call me. I don't talk to nobody. Besides, I don't think that phone number is going to be lasting much longer anyway. Getting tired of having a phone. I don't like too many devices. Too many devices. I'd like to get to a point where the only people I need to talk to are in my life, and let them talk to everybody for me. What I want, oh my god, this is what I want. I want to be able to do this. Keep my social media stuff, keep my writing, do all the things that I'm doing, but have someone else deal with the people for me. I need an assistant. I need someone to help me get some bookings for these fucking things. Like, I don't know. I think people just have a hard time grasping a man tarot reader, an attractive male tarot reader that doesn't dress like a fucking gypsy. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Maybe it does. But then again, I kind of don't even want to read the cards anymore. You can do it without. You can read somebody just by looking at them, taking a second to really put some thought into it. You can. It's very simple. It's just a pain in the ass to do, because it's what keeps you from doing it is doubting yourself. You just follow your first instinct and look at somebody, and you know what they're thinking and feeling. It's actually really simple. The reason I'm looking at these two cards because these are two of my favorite cards, and they just happen to be at the bottom of the deck. It doesn't matter where you shuffle them, doesn't matter how much you shuffle them. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, why don't you do a class? Yeah, I know. I have to actually do one. I know. These two cards are probably like the most important ones, I think. Zybos and Beur. Because these encapsulate everything with everybody. Focus on healing. Focus on healing. Focus on romance and comfort. Healing. What is healing? Healing is healing your mind. Healing is looking at the shit, the wounds that are left in there from traumas and past experiences. This is healing. What I'm doing right now. You can usually tell because you get like a little kind of buzz chill in your forehead here. You can feel it here. You ever get the, like, you're talking to somebody, you're talking or thinking about something, and you get like kind of chills. It's like, ooh. That's a form of healing right there. It's a little hard to explain because it's a physical thing, and I don't know if I want to do it just justification for other people. I can only explain how it is for me, and how it is for me is that way. It's usually like it's like a tingling in my head. Sometimes it kind of like in the back of my head. You can usually tell, like, if you're really solving a lot of shit in your mind and you're really like releasing a lot of emotional baggage and you're crying stuff out and you're realizing that you're not really a victim and you've never been a victim, and that person that molested you as a kid, that was just a challenge from the universe to see if you were able to learn forgiveness. Stop holding a grudge. And that because of past life actions, you actually deserve to get molested as a kid. Did you know that? That everything happens for a reason. That no one is immune to that. Like I said it the other day, like even rape victims, you got raped for a reason. That everything that you did prior to that experience in your life led to that moment. Every action that you take today is the catalyst for the experiences that you have tomorrow. It's karma. That's karma. Like Newton. I think I got into this yesterday or the other day. Like Isaac Newton said, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. And what that means, he's explaining karma. Like everything you do, everything you do sends out energy of some sort, kinetic, mental, some other kind of energy. Every person that you talk to, every email that you write, every phone call that you make, every text message that you send, it's a form of energy going out into the universe, and eventually something will come back. It's just the nature of things. It's just the way things work. Every action has a reaction. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Why did you get raped? I don't know. Did you even get raped? I got a theory on rape. I honestly, perfectly honest, I don't know if rape even exists. I don't know if I believe it. And I know that's not a popular thing. That's definitely not a popular thing to say, but fuck it. It doesn't matter. It's just my opinion. I've never seen anyone get raped. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. I don't know how it would work. I don't understand it. So I know that a non-aroused vagina, you can't put anything really into it without, like, I have to imagine a lot of force. And I can't imagine what that would do to a phallus to try to even do. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't. What I would like to do, if you've ever raped anybody, please reach out to me, because I want to know how did you do it? I don't understand. I'm very confused. And if you've ever been raped, I don't think people even like talking about that. And I think anybody who's been raped is going to want to talk to me after I fucking just said that. But if you do, please let me know, because I'm curious. I want to know how that works, because it just doesn't. It baffles my mind. I can imagine there being a lot of tearing to vaginal region. But then again, how do you get anything in there if it's not aroused? I don't know. Like, really, I'm just curious, very curious. There's a couple experiences in human existence that experience that I don't understand, nor do I believe. I mean, I believe it can, I guess. I mean, I can think of some ways. I mean, there's lubricants, right? But does that work? I mean, if you're fighting. See, when I picture rape, I picture people struggling and it being very difficult. But I don't know. I've never been put in this situation, so I can't really say. So I don't think I have. Not that I've ever recalled. But whatever. We'll figure it out someday. That's not saying I'm gonna rape. Oh my god. Did you ever? What's that thing? Digging a hole? You're putting your foot in your mouth? Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing, right? Yeah, but rape aside, I don't know. I'm kind of losing now. I think I just kind of killed my own thunder with that whole thing. But I guess it's good I said it. Someone's got to say it. And I'm sure someone can prove me wrong. I'm sure there's rape in some way. Well, you know what? I mean, I've been raped. I've been raped. From a metaphysical standpoint, we've all been raped. We've all been raped to believe. Our minds have been raped. Spirits have been raped. Have our physical bodies been raped? Yeah, of course. I mean, well, I guess priests molest kids, right? Do that. They rape kids. Why can't they rape women? Alright, so I take it back. Everyone can get raped. Everyone's rapeable. Yeah. Rape the planet. Okay, right? I mean, isn't that what people do every day anyway? I mean, we're all raping each other in some way, shape, or form. We're raping each other's feelings. We're raping each other's minds. Society, the governments, they're raping you. They're raping your wallet. We're all rape victims in some way, shape, or form. Nobody's safe from rape. Here we go. See how quickly... See? Now there's an example. See how quickly I can change my stance on that? Just with a little bit of talking. And I don't even need anyone to argue with. I don't even need to argue. I can have just a relevant, just a simple conversation and be able to bounce around just like that. And what am I, a hypocrite? Because I said there was no rape and now there's rape? So what? I think hypocrisy is one of the strongest human characteristics that you can find in someone. The ability to admit that you were wrong about something and then be able to then change the way that you think in such a way that you no longer feel that you're wrong. It's okay. I could be wrong. Those are the 4 magic words. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about anything. I could be wrong about being wrong. I mean, most people, they take everything at a literal standpoint. I just like to see all the layers of everything and anything. If you can get a standpoint on. At least I can. I mean, anything I can get a standpoint on. I mean, well, whatever. So don't fucking yell at people for being hypocrites anymore. Be glad. Cheer them on. Clap them on the back. Good job. Good job for changing your views. Good job for wanting to do something a little bit different and not be the same person day in and day out every single fucking day. It's commendable. That's something that's you should be proud of. So this is like an hour. I'm gonna pull 2 cards because I want to try something real quick. Because I might do a live reading tomorrow. I was thinking, possibly. There are. I asked some of my little Facebook group friends and my magic groups and my witch groups if any of the people there would want to get their cards read. Because I read these cards in such a way that I use them to help bring out emotional triggers in people. And not so much that I can piss you off, but so that we can see where you're going astray, so to speak. Because everybody's going through the same thing. The way I read these cards, it's going to So what I do is it's kind of like a math equation. I read this book once called The Necroscope. It's a fantastic book by this man named Harry Koef. Koef? I never knew how to pronounce it. It's Koeegf. Harry Koef? Koef? Whatever. He could speak to dead people. When he was a child, he would go to graveyards and just hang out there, and then he would hear these people in their minds. It was very similar to kind of how, like, I talk to dead people. Because I can talk to dead people, by the way. I talk to my dead father all the time. I talk to my dead aunt. I talk to my stepfather's sister. I talk to dead people all the time. But I can also talk to regular people. Like I said, when I had the thing with my mom in the mirror. I also did the same thing with my brother the other day. I fucking wrote that shit down. Let me find it. It was Tuesday morning, right? I connected with my brother's name last night, and I told him to come home. He just pulled up. It's at 11:26 a.m. on Tuesday. And you know what's funny? You know what's very funny is the day that those cops came to do the mental check on me, that morning after I wrote that, at 12:14 p.m., I was feeling, and I had this discussion, just like everybody, I have my down days. But this particular one, I even wrote it that morning, the day the cops came to see if I was going to kill myself. I am feeling suicidal again. It's been some time. It's almost a welcome notion. I'm really getting sick of this life. It's going nowhere. Really do welcome oblivion, but I don't even know what that even entails. But perhaps that is the leap of faith that I need to take. Now, granted, at that point, when I was writing that little leap of faith to take, I don't look at suicide as that blanket. I see suicide as a multi-tiered, multi-leveled experience, in that killing the self does not necessarily mean literally killing yourself and hanging yourself in a closet. Killing yourself is dying to this world that you are grown accustomed to. That this version of Derek, to kill off this version of Derek, to be a newer, better, more enhanced version. I've killed myself 100 times over the past year. Multiple suicides. Not in the physical sense, though. In the metaphysical, spiritual, mental sense. I kill off old versions of myself all the time. It's my job to kill off these older versions of myself so that this newer version of me can assume control. The person that I used to be, the person that I was 10 years ago is dead. The person that I was 2 years ago is dead. This person is completely different. If, say, certain people from my past were to show up into my life, they wouldn't even fucking recognize me. I would be an alien to them. There are certain people that I know that I would have to go through a whole new re-education of who I am, because they literally would look at me like I came from a different fucking planet. Technically, I did. If you believe in astrology, the way that the energies of the planets affect our minds, which is pretty self-evident. I mean, look at the fact, what I was saying before, that all the planets in the solar system, they all play this intricate dance around the sun. But you remove any one of those planets and everything falls apart, because of the what we call gravity of every single planet plays its particular role. Every planet gives off an energy signature that interacts with all the other planets, and all the other planets interact with each other in such a way that Earth sits exactly where it needs to sit, so that it's as far away from the sun as it is, so that we can have the beautiful life-giving light that is given to us every single day. So with that, why would those energies not affect you? Because of the placements of Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, the Earth is sitting in a specific spot. Because of all those planets, all that movement, the Earth is in its particular position in space because of everything else around it. which is which you can then go and say, well, everyone on the planet is then where they are because of what's going on out there, because of those energies that have been affecting everything else. So, and look at the moon. We can even break down into even simpler terms, because I'm sure like you're going, what? The moon controls the tides. The Earth is made up of 70% water. You are made up of 70% water, about. Tides are in constant motion. That's the ocean. It's a big fucking body of water. What about that little bit of water that's inside you? I mean, yeah, it's most of your being, but that energy is affecting you in such a way that your behavior is actually changing. And what I realized was, all those videos I made earlier this week, if you notice, I was really frantic and like all over the fucking place. I forgot that it was the full moon. It was yesterday. I don't know if you're as sensitive to that shit as I am, but I have noticed the pattern that full moons and new moons, I am fucked up. Really fucked up. New moons, I get depressed and I want to fucking die. Full moons, I get like fucking, I want to do a fucking million things all at one time. It's the in-between moments where I finally get calm and collected, like this. But, that's actually interesting. So I pulled out these two cards because I wanted to do, let's do like little mini readings, because 11:11, 1 hour, 11 minutes. So what I was saying was like before, is that these cards, it's to do the cards, it's kind of like a math problem, and then I got distracted by the necroscope. Anyway, what happened was, at one point, little Harry, I think he was really bad at math and he didn't know what he was doing, and he was sitting by the grave of this great mathematician, Mobius. I forget his name. Cornelius Mobius, I think that was his name. I forget. But in one of their discussions, Mobius had said to Harry, "I'll show you equations that you didn't even know existed." And I look at that like this. So what I do is I take the meanings of the cards and then I put them together. So this one, Damus, this is basically this is a demon that people think may have existed. There's actually no proof. So basically the meaning of the card is it warns you about playing the telephone game. One person spreading rumors over the course of several people, and then eventually once it gets back to whomever, the game, the original message itself is so distorted that you don't even know the truth from a lie anymore. Paimon is this guy's about finding love and romance. Passion. So if I were to pull this one card for you, I'd say something. I'd ask you specifically about that thing that's going on in your life. What? Stop spreading rumors with people. Don't tell people what you think you know about things, because that's what's really fucking up your life right now. Maybe not specifically fucking up your life, but you know what I'm talking about, that you have a couple of those relationships that are fucked up because you said something to somebody, or someone said something to you and you said to somebody else, and you're putting your own version of something together, and I can relate to this a lot. That really, mind your own fucking business. Mind your business. Yeah, you know what? Someone told you something about somebody else, keep it to yourself, because you know what? You don't know. You don't know. Maybe they're true. Maybe there's a little bit true. But chances are that there's always, every truth is a half lie and every lie is a half truth. You have to understand that when people tell you something, they're telling you a skewed version of their version of it. So take it for what it is. It is what it is. When you see the person in question, you don't need to bring it up. Just see what's going on with them. Enjoy them. Enjoy the time with them that you have. Don't worry about what somebody else thinks about this person or that person. Just, what do you think about them? Does it matter to you? Oh, they said that they were talking shit about you. What does it matter? Were they telling the truth? Maybe they were. Is that what you're mad about? You're mad because somebody was telling somebody else the truth about you that you don't want out? Maybe they didn't tell it the way, they don't know the whole story like you know it. Of course they don't. It's your life. But maybe the person who told you what they said, maybe they didn't tell you the exact context in which the person in question actually said the thing that they said. Maybe something got skewed in the mix. You know what I mean? That. I know all too much about this. This is one of the reasons that my life is the way that it is. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm kind of glad it is, because it taught me a very valuable lesson. Now, Paimon, focus on new love. You meet somebody? Or is there somebody that you're interested in? Oh. You got a little romance? There's someone. I don't think this is a new person. I think this is an old person. This is focus on new love. This is new love and romance. This is someone different. Someone different. This is kind of like how I was saying before. People change. Dying to your old self, that self-suicide, that suicide of the old you. We all change throughout the course of our lives. Everyone knows that. I mean, the me today, like I said, me today is not the same person I was yesterday or the day before. I'm not even the same person I was this morning. You're not the same person you were last year or a month ago. You're not the same person right now than you were this morning either. But I feel like I really get the sense that someone that you have been keeping an eye on, you're starting to get a little mushy over it, which I understand. That makes sense. I can relate. Don't let these rumors influence you on doing what you want to do, talking to who you want to talk to, because I got this sense that if you actually take the time to invest in what it is that you want to do, I think you're going to find that you made the right decision by shutting everybody else out, because that happens a lot. Pull another one. I mean, you also have to understand that not everything is going to be exactly what you think, but that's not to say that see, don't get confused by that. This is like your major thing right now. This is really what your problem is a new boyfriend or girlfriend? Come on. Okay. All right. Okay. I got it. All right. So there is this person that you want to connect with. I have a feeling it's someone that you already know, or someone that you knew. I mean, this is new love. This is new romance. This is new connection. It doesn't necessarily mean love and romance in a romantic sense, but this is a new connection, which of course could lead to that. But I think you definitely have some fears and doubts that you're justified. But you have to understand that you could be wrong, okay? And that's a big thing. That's a hard thing to grasp, is that I could be wrong. I know, because I've faced that many times in my life. Well, recently I've had to go back and think about those old experiences and thoughts that I had and go, yeah, I could be wrong about that. I spent my whole life believing that thing. Fuck, I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, don't focus on status. I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe this person has a particular stigma around them that is what's causing you to have this doubt. And I'm not saying that doubt is a bad thing. Doubt is a good thing. Doubt is very positive. Doubt and fear are your friends. I did a video some weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago. It was a response to this Russell Brand video that I watched. I'm not too big of a fan of Russell Brand, but he does say some smart shit. But he only had a piece of the puzzle. There was still more to it, and I did this video explaining about how doubt and fear actually, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. So for instance, your doubts, your fears are there to show you where you need to go next, in my opinion, from my experience. That when I am afraid of doing something, when I doubt myself and go, oh my God, I'm gonna fuck this up, when I really have to fight to make myself go that extra step, that's when you find the most rewards for the things that you do. That's when things really work out for you the best. And listen, working out doesn't mean like you're gonna fucking get a fucking mansion and a pot of gold fall on your goddamn head. No. Sometimes the reward is just going, holy shit, I just did that. Good for me. Good for me. And even if things don't work out for yourself, it's not, oh my God, that was totally not what I was expecting. But I did it. How many people can say that? How many people can say that? How many people are more comfortable ignoring their instincts, listening to those fears and doubts, going, oh no, I can't do it. Oh, I'm too scared. And they never know. But I think that there's something with this status or title, or there's something about this person that's kind of like exactly. Listen. Okay, here's the message I'm getting. Do you have your eye on somebody? Do you have your eye on somebody for something? Maybe someone that you want to reach out to. Maybe it's an old friend. Maybe it's an old lover. Maybe it's somebody. But I think that you have a lot of people in your ear right now that are telling you that this is not a good idea because of who this person is, what they are. And I know that's weighing on you a little bit, and I know you're kind of, I feel like you're kind of like back and forth on this. But this guy right here, and I'm telling you, this is actually the thing with the cards. This guy, Ammon, I know he's like scary looking. He's like really fucking freaky looking. Right? Come on. He doesn't look pretty at all. But this card is actually about bringing people back together again. So I think, and the reason I went, okay, yeah, this is exactly it, because this is just confirmation for everything I was just saying. Like this is about someone very specific that is from your past. But Amen, he's got a gift for bringing people who were once together and separated back together again. Not all demons are bad. Demons are only demons when you don't know the power of which that they can teach you. Yeah, they have a lot of bad shit about them, but that's because they're misunderstood. Remember what I said? Good is only considered evil to the evildoer who considers himself a good guy. I mean, it's just a matter of perspective. One man's demon is another man's angel. These guys are my little angels. I love these guys. So let me just give you a quick rundown. So okay, so does that make sense? Is that resonating with you? It's resonating with somebody. I don't think that might not be for everybody, but I know that's for somebody. So the and what did I say? I said you have someone that you were from your past that you're trying that you might want to reconnect with, but you have these fears because of who they are. But it looks like it'd probably be in your best interest to at least try, because that's what this guy's all about, is bringing people back together again. So let me go over what each card meant and how I came to that conclusion. So we have Damus, who is all about rumors, playing the telephone game, about not listening to rumors, to be your own judge. Okay? Paimon, who is about focusing on new love, new romance, new connections. Okay? Nibis, this guy's about dreams and fear, dreams and realizing the difference between expectation and reality. Baal is all about status, titles, and realistically, I believe what this card specifically is about is, hold on, let me get the book right here. I can prove to you I'm right. Baal, what was he specifically about? Is beware of status symbols, names, ranks, or possessions. Be sure that the person behind the title is worth the esteem. Now, granted, that's the literal translation of the book. But what that says to me, and because I know that, but I look at it different. Because that doesn't mean to be careful of the status of the person. Make sure that they're worth their status. But it's also make sure that that person deserves the status that they're being given. And now, if you're hearing rumors and people trying to dispel you from that, this person, maybe telling you how bad and gross that they are, maybe they aren't worth that status. Maybe there is something positive about them that those people don't see. Because remember, we only see what we see. You don't know what you don't know. And then Amen. Amen is about bringing people back together again. I'll give you the literal translation for him too. This way. Focus on repairing relationships that have drifted apart through differences, finding common ground. What do you want to ask? I mean, and that is this new equation that I'm telling you about. Is that I took all of those meanings and kind of morphed it into this story. Now, that's also because I'm one of the fucking best tarot readers in the goddamn world. And I hope whoever resonated with that, if you leave me, I hope you like this, or at least leave me a comment or something. Because I think that was totally worth it, because that was a great fucking reading. Want to do another? This might be for someone else. Let's see, we'll try one more. I really like doing this. I need to get in the habit of doing it again, because this is like my favorite. I love how the cards work. Because everything happens for a reason. Someone needed to hear that card. Needed to hear that. Was it me? Maybe. I believe every reading, everyone needed that. Because you know what? Maybe it wasn't even a romance thing. Because you can even take that as, for some, I'm just saying what came to my mind on the spot. That was the first thing I thought of, was an old romance, an old fling, an old spark. But that could be an old friendship, it could be an old job, it could be maybe even talking about a family member that you haven't talked to in a while, maybe somebody that, and a couple of people in this house can relate to that as well. So can I. I can relate to that in a couple situations, quite a few situations. Not just romantically, but professionally as well. Like I said, I mean, got hooked up with those recovery people again, so it's quite possible that I really don't want to. Realistically, I'm just doing it for my mom. She doesn't have enough time to fucking. She got recruited, so I'm just helping her out. So I think this is all fucking force. All right, I'm not gonna do my 100 million shuffles like I usually do. So. I just want to make sure. Some of these, I still look at the book, but you try to fucking remember fucking. Don't just jump into something. Whatever it is, whatever this is, and maybe this is this could be a continuation off of that last set of cards that we did, but don't just rush into things. I think you already know that. I think you're smart enough to know not to rush. And this is probably just confirmation for you. And kind of, I think that's what this is. I think this might actually be just confirmation. Take the necessary precautions and really prepare yourself. I mean, I'm not saying get a fucking bulletproof vest. No, just be wary. Think about what could go wrong. Think about what could go right. This goes back to what I was saying earlier, like when I was doing these cards for people and like telling them about how to, like when you think about what it is that you want, also focus on what you don't want, because you will create the experience that you put the most time and effort into. And that's not even necessarily true. Allow yourself to think about all the angles that it could go. Yeah, it could go good, it could go bad, it can go indifferent, it can go in a million different ways. Imagine your worst nightmare of the situation. Imagine your sexiest dream of the situation. Okay? And then those are just two. That's just the extreme light and extreme dark. And then also think there's like a million different possible scenarios in between. Think about all of it. What you want, what you don't want, mix and match. Because, like I was saying, like you don't want this to happen, but there are a couple little things in there that aren't that bad. Like, yeah, 95% of this might be like the worst situation in the world, but there is 5% that you might like. Just like this, 95% of this might be what you want, but there's still a little bit that you don't. Pick and choose. Take what you like out of this, take what you like out of this, and mish them together and think about a whole new scenario and and sequence of events that can come out of it that are beyond your expectation. And also, there's other people involved in this. Maybe not the people I was talking about before, not the ones that maybe negative Nellies, but the people under you, the people that you take care of. Because I feel like, do you have a kid? Children? I feel like there's children involved in this. That's usually what this card always makes me think of, as kids. It's about our work, or the people underneath us, the people that we if you were management, if you were the manager of a company, these would be the people that are underneath you. But this is kind of, now this next card is kind of going back to what we were saying before. Make sure this person is like exactly who they claim they are. Which is, in turn, taking those precautions, keeping in mind those people underneath us, but also make sure this person is exactly who, maybe not exactly who you think they are, because no one's going to be exactly who you think they are. No one's ever going to fit your expectations 100%. Well, I'm not going to say never, because I don't like absolute statements. Only Sith deal in absolutes. That's not true. So was the fucking Jedi. Obi-Wan. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Get one more. Son of a bitch. You know. I just want to check on, just make sure that. I hate looking at the books. I really shouldn't even do that. I should just like. Hold on, let me just check this out. Oh, baby. Okay, so we got a little bit of a tail here, and I think it's not bad. So. Trust your intuitions. Your intuition isn't going to lie to you on this. It's probably going to be your best friend. And I think that you know that for the betterment of these other people, that, and maybe you need to focus on you. Okay? You aren't going to know what this person's about until you get into the situation, which you're going to. Be you. Make sure you don't compromise yourself to make someone else happy, because that's really what's important here. You don't want to compromise yourself. You don't want to give up what you've worked for just to may not give it up, but do it for the right reasons. That everything's about material gain. That love, in some form, is a potent tool, and especially for you, I think. In this situation, I think you can use that to your advantage. Because as long as you are truthful, I say truthful, not implying that you would lie, but speak your truth. Don't hold back on what you know you need to do. And maybe that's what this is, because I really get a sense that this is about reconnecting with somebody and you needing to say some shit. Because that's where all this is leading. But I believe in you. I believe this will work out for you. I believe it's going to work out for me. I believe it's going to work out for everybody. I think this is interesting. But for some reason, I know I keep on going back to like this love and romance, but a couple of these cards are just very specifically about just that. Don't let like your emotions like get the best of you. Like I feel like you've been training for this moment. This is like your marathon right now. This is your triathlon. Oh, falling out. Maybe right now is a good time. Let me just say exactly the way that it was coming to me. Maybe now is a good time to not make too quick a move. Watch yourself. Yeah. Pay attention to this person. I think you can learn. I feel like you have a means in which that. Okay, so let me explain. This card's about what it says specifically is, don't focus on being observed as much as being the observer. And the next card is about focusing on understanding intelligent debate and rational conversation. So what it says to me is learn what you can about this person. Know what it is you want to say. Be prepared for the worst, but also expect the best. There's no reason not to get the best of both worlds out of this. Because if you have a way to figure this person out, I think I could have. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is all saying this thing. Oh my God! Again. Who? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are you a student of the sciences, are you? Either you are or this person is. I say sciences. You're in love with a mystic, aren't you? Well, here's what I gotta say. This is embarrassing. Yeah, figure you got a way to find out about this person. Find out about as much of them as you can. And I got a feeling that you don't have to try that hard or rely on too many other people to give you what you need. As a matter of fact, do not rely on anyone to give you what you need about this person, because I don't think that anyone else is going to be able to give you a goddamn thing. But again, we got another lovey card. This is another one. Zybos. Bitches love Zybos. I love Zybos. Focus on romance and comfort. Listen, if that's what I'm seeing out of all this. This new stretch, guys. Hold on, let me get one more. I promise. That's it. yeah, you're gonna make a move. You have to. You have to. You're gonna have to make a move. Because, and I don't know exactly what that means, make a move, but right, we have Balin. Focus on be the observer, not the observed. Ronov. Focus on intelligent debate, discussion. Right? Do you have a habit of losing your temper, or do they? Alistair is focusing on but specifically it's about studying the liberal arts, basically astrology and esoteric sciences. That's why I asked if you had a crush on a mystic. Skox is about preparing. Be prepared for quick change. Yeah, you know what? You're going in with you're going into the situation with a very specific outcome in mind. Try to pre-plan a little bit more and have a couple different outcomes. Be prepared for a couple different outcomes. Like I said, good, bad, and all the shades of gray in between. What I'll teach you, okay? So what you do is close your eyes, like I was saying before. Close your eyes. Think about this situation. Think about what the worst possible case scenario is. Give yourself a couple minutes and really think about that. I would pause this. Think about that. Really, like it might take like a minute or two to really dig into how bad it could go. Really let it turn into a fucking nightmare. Whatever your worst nightmare with this situation could be. Okay? Once you do that, think about the opposite. The reason I say that is because most people, when I first started doing this exercise with people, and I would tell them to think about what it is you want most in the entire world, no one knew. They could not figure it out because they never took the time to think about it. So then I kind of had this idea one day, and I said, you know what? You don't know what you want? Think about what you don't want. Because once you know what you don't want, it's a lot easier to figure out, okay, well, that's definitely not what I want, so let's go with the opposite, which is that. Now, once you have those two, you can then really start digging it because you're a smart individual. Start really digging in and seeing what you like, what you don't like, mix and match, play them together. Okay, well, I like the sunshines and rainbows over here, but I do like a little bit of the fucking pool party over here, so let's get a rainy pool party. You know what I mean? You're mixing a whole new scenario. Now you got this whole new thing. But now you have the two, you got the good, you got the bad, and you got the new one that you made. Now there's also all that in between. You can mix and match. You make an endless combination of things. I'm not saying to sit there forever like I do and just fucking sit and think, because nobody actually really has that much time on their hands like I do. But be prepared, just in case things don't go exactly the way that you want. That doesn't mean that it's not going to. It's just to be prepared. Sibos, focus on new love and comfort. And then we have Tap. Now this is the one that had me a little bit interested, because Tap's all about traveling. Tap is a demon. If you look at this guy, he's got something on his back. See the little guy right there? On the shoulder? Got the guy sitting piggyback? Well, Tap is all about bringing the summoner to new locations to learn the culture of these new places, these new civilizations, these new societies that one would go to. So that's why I'm like, this person, are they near you? I get a sense that this may involve some kind of travel of some sort. Does that mean moving? I don't know. I don't like to predict futures. I don't predict the future because the future goes there's, from this specific moment, there's probably about 1 trillion billion infinite number of paths that tomorrow could lead to. And not even just tomorrow, but just each progressive day. So that's why I don't predict the future with these cards, but for some reason this one says to me that there is some kind of distance that needs to be covered. at some point. By someone. Maybe by you, by them. Maybe they're coming to you. Maybe you want to go to them. Maybe you both want to go to each other. Maybe there's a way. Maybe that's something that needs to be compromised. Is that there's a middle ground in there somewhere. That's another one. What don't confuse. Is it Marcosis? I always fucking forget this guy. He's been a fucking bother with me. Beware false hopes, knowing something is impossible. Knowing something is impossible and striving for it anyway can take away energy that can be used for more attainable goals. So, be realistic, also. Be realistic. Don't expect, what the fuck happened between you two? I don't know. I have visions of what this means to me, and I feel like there's something. I feel like I might know you, but I don't know. Maybe. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be concerned. It's like, don't allow yourself to dwell. Allow yourself to be consumed with your fears. You're not in a rush. Be afraid. Be very afraid. So what do I mean by that? I mean, how I overcome my fears, I dwell on them. I let myself like really focus on what it is I'm afraid of. I was saying before how like it usually takes me like a little bit, way less longer than anybody else I've ever met to overcome challenges in my life. And the reason for that is because I allow myself to dwell. And the more I dwell, the more I can break down a situation and figure out why it's not as bad as I originally thought that it was. I think you are in a position right now where you have a preconceived notion of how bad things could get in this situation. But at the same time, I feel as though you know that you could be wrong. That this probably isn't as bad as you think it is, and I know that what the book said about Marshall Sharshish is to beware false hopes and striving for the impossible. What that's actually saying to me is don't maybe that's the impossible. Maybe that's the impossible. Don't realize that, yeah, you know what, you could be right. This could be the worst mistake of your life. But it might not be. Yeah, rumors and all shit. Now it's just repeating. It's actually Damus again. I'm not going to keep on shuffling. Because there's usually, what happens is, this will be our last one. This will be the last one because this right now I'm gonna take my hand and come with me. All right, I'm gonna guide you back. I'm gonna pull you back. Follow me. Okay, focus. What happens is, so I know that was a lot to take in, probably because it was really good. So right now, what do I need you to do? I need you to come back with me. Okay. What happens with the cards is sometimes the message can only come out so much. It'll repeat itself until you solve this one thing. Like I can't just. I can read the cards for you all day, and eventually the message is just gonna repeat itself. So that's kind of what I was feeling. That's why I wanted to stop after I pulled that last Damus and all that shit. Because I don't see how much further that can go without stressing the points. I think we got pretty specific on what it was that you needed to know. and interpret that however you need. That's just how I received it. That doesn't mean that's how you needed to hear it. Again, though that message will resonate with everyone in some way, not exactly going to be 100% the same for everybody. It's going to be a little bit different. So, with that, I gotta go because my fucking back is killing me sitting like this. I'm debating if I want to go for a walk. I like to go and walk and talk to myself. Helps me figure shit out. So I would suggest the same thing for yourself. And let that Ugani Tani car that I just pulled. He's a guide. Helps people get back onto the path. So that's it. Enjoy. I'm glad that we got this time together. And I'll see you around. I think there's something else I wanted to do about that. Whatever. All right.